Everyone is talking about AI chips, but there is another layer AI cannot work without. If that layer is slow, the model waits. If it breaks, the system stops. If it cannot scale, the entire AI boom hits a wall. That layer is networking, and one of the most important leaders behind that invisible layer is Jayshree Ullal. Most people hear her name in billionaire lists or CEO rankings, but the more useful story is technical. How did she help turn networking into one of the most important infrastructure layers of the cloud and AI era? That is the story underneath Arista, software defined networking, Ethernet at scale, and a leader who turned deep infrastructure into a platform business. By the end of this video, you will see why Jayshree Ullal's impact is not just that she led a company, it is that she helped scale the invisible layer modern systems run on. Jayshree Ullal is the CEO and chairperson of Arista Networks, a company built around high performance networking for large data centers, cloud systems, campus networks, routing, and now AI infrastructure. She did not arrive at Arista as a celebrity founder, she arrived as a deeply experienced networking executive. In 2008, Arista announced her as president and CEO after her years at Cisco, where Arista's own release described her as responsible for a $10 billion data center switching and services group. That detail matters because this is not a story about charisma replacing technical depth. It is a story about someone who understood the infrastructure market well enough to know where it was breaking. The problem was simple to say and extremely hard to solve. Cloud computing was changing what networks had to do. Traditional enterprise networks were designed for a different era: predictable workloads, slower change, and hardware centric operations. But cloud data centers needed something else. They needed capacity, they needed low latency, they needed automation, they needed networks that could be managed like software systems, not just boxes in a rack. Arista's early message was built around that pressure: high performance Ethernet and cloud networking for large scale web and enterprise data centers. In other words, the company was not trying to make networking prettier. It was trying to make networking programmable, scalable, and reliable enough for the cloud era. The core achievement was not one product launch, it was building a company around a different model of networking. Arista's public positioning centers on a network operating stack: availability, agility, automation, analytics, and security. Its EOS software sits at the center of the cloud networking story. That is the important technical idea. If network hardware is only hardware, it becomes difficult to operate at cloud speed. But when the operating system, telemetry, programmability, automation, and platform design become the product, the network can become part of the cloud operating model. That is why Jayshree Ullal's leadership at Arista matters. She scaled a company whose value was not only faster switches but a more software led way to run cloud infrastructure. Pause here because this is the part most people miss. Networking sounds boring until it fails. If the network is slow, the cloud is slow. If the network is hard to operate, engineering teams move slower. If the network cannot scale, AI clusters, commerce systems, databases, and real time services all hit a ceiling. The best infrastructure work is often invisible because it only becomes visible when it breaks. Under Jayshree Ullal's leadership, Arista moved from early cloud networking company to public company, then to a major infrastructure platform company. Arista says she led the company to its June 2014 IPO and helped drive growth from zero to a multi-billion-dollar S&P 500 company with a market value above $200 billion. That scale is not just a business number, it is evidence that the market needed a new kind of network architecture. Cloud providers needed reliable high performance Ethernet. Enterprises needed simpler operations across data center, campus, routing, and security. AI workloads needed massive connectivity between compute systems. And Arista positioned itself across that full client to cloud story. The leadership achievement is that Ullal helped turn a technical architecture into an operating company that could sell, support, and keep evolving it at global scale. The second act is AI networking. As AI systems became larger, networking became more important again. Training clusters do not only need chips, they need thousands of components exchanging data quickly and reliably. that puts Ethernet, optics, switches, software, telemetry, and operations back at the center of the conversation. Public reporting has described Arista as one of the companies trying to prove that Ethernet can scale for AI infrastructure. This is why Ulal's story is still current. She is not only associated with an older cloud wave, she is leading a company through the next infrastructure transition from cloud networking into AI and client to cloud operations. So, what makes this a technical achievement profile? First, platform engineering. Arista's story is built around software, operating systems, programmability, and automation, not only physical boxes. Second, scale leadership. Ulal took a specialized infrastructure company through public market scale without making the story less technical. Third, cloud transformation. The company was early to the idea that data center networks needed to match the speed and operating style of cloud systems. Fourth, commerce systems impact. Every large online business depends on reliable connectivity between services, databases, storage, compute, and users. When networking gets faster and more programmable, commerce systems become more resilient and responsive. And fifth, CTO level impact. Even though Ulal is CEO, the impact reads like a CTO level lesson. Understand the architecture shift, build the platform around it, then scale the company without losing the technical thesis. Stop measuring your career only by what people can immediately see. Some of the most valuable technical work is the layer everyone depends on, but nobody celebrates until it fails. Jayshree Ullal's career is a reminder that technical leadership is not always about being the loudest person in the room. Sometimes it is about understanding the system so deeply that you can see the next platform shift before everyone else. So, if you are building something technical right now, document three things. What problem did it solve? What scale did it reach? And what changed because your work existed? Because invisible work only stays invisible when you never turn it into proof. Jayshree Ullal's story is not just about leading Arista. It is about seeing that the cloud needed a different kind of network, then helping scale the company that built for that world. If your work is invisible right now, do not assume it is unimportant. Learn the system, build the proof, and make your impact impossible to ignore. Subscribe for more profiles of women whose technical work shaped the platforms the world now runs on.